Hello. Um, this is the first of my little projects or sort of tasks I've set myself to do. I'm hoping to just talk about myself a bit and why I'm wanting to do these. So the main reason I'm doing this is because, obviously, like I said before, I feel like I'm not confident in social situations, and I'm starting to feel like it's affecting me to the point where I'm missing out on things that I would like to do. So one of the main examples is sort of something that happened a little while ago that I feel like just sums it all up. I'm at university at the moment, and we went on sort of a field trip visit day to a botanical gardens near here. I know the woman quite well from a previous field trip and whatever. So I knew her. I knew the people I was with. And she started telling us about work that they do there with bees, and they're starting to do sort of teaching little sessions about bees, which interests me a lot. I'm very interested in bees. I'm doing a zoology degree, so I'm really into bees. We've started keeping bees. We're hoping to expand them. We're just getting, me and my dad are doing this together. He's just got 15 new hives, which is quite a lot considering before this we only had the one, and only for less than a year now, so we've kind of gone straight into the deep end. But anyway, she was telling us about these courses that they're going to start setting up, and something that I really want to do after university is going into wildlife education, so teaching about wildlife, which is what this is. So this is something that really interested me. But a friend of mine who was with me, he knew that this is something that interested me, and he sort of tried to get me involved in the conversation to tell her that I was interested, obviously, but I panicked. Not necessarily because I knew her, I knew the people I was with, I was comfortable in the situation, but I don't know how to talk about myself, because it's not necessarily in that situation that I was scared to talk, but that I just blank and I don't know what to say. I don't have anything in my head. All I could say was, yeah, I like bees, and that was the end of the conversation. And the next day, the friend who was with me, he said, what were you doing? I set you up perfect. He knows that I'm shy, so he was like, I set you up perfectly. That was a perfect situation. That's something you're really interested in. What were you doing? And I didn't know what to say, because I couldn't say something in that situation. So that's kind of the reason for doing this, is I want to be able to talk, not necessarily about myself, that sounds really self-centered, but about the things I'm interested in, and be able to sell myself in a situation, considering I'm graduating at the end of this year. I need to be able to communicate with people, which I'm not good at. Another reason is that I feel like my lack of confidence holds me back from situations that I'm actually really interested in, kind of like that, but not just in sort of professional sense. So basically, when I first started university, like the week before I came here, I looked up all the sport things that they had going here, and there were so many that I saw, and I was like, yeah, I want to try this. One of them was fencing. When I turned up at uni, I barely spoke. One of my flatmates thought that I didn't actually speak English, so I really just hardly spoke. And I went to the sports fair, got all these information about all the different sports, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to this one. I knew all the times, and I just couldn't go. I was begging all my friends, all my flatmates, who are now my friends, to come with me to these things, because then at least I'd know someone there. But they weren't interested. So I didn't end up going. So my first year, even though I wanted to do all these things, I didn't do any sports during my first year. In my second year, I was like, yeah, I'm going to push myself. So I signed up to 3 different sports. At the start of the year, I did 2 of them. By Christmas, I stopped going to any because what I would do is I'd turn up. So one of them was, the one I went to mostly was kayaking, and they would practice just in the university pool. So I would turn up and I would just sit on the edge of the pool, and I wouldn't do anything until someone sort of realised that I was just not doing anything, and they would come up to me and say, oh, do you want to learn this? Do you want me to show you how? And I'd be like, yes please. But then the whole time they were teaching me to do something, I couldn't speak to them. In my third year, because one of the main things I wanted to do even since secondary school was cheerleading. So in my third year, I said to my boyfriend, I was like, you hold me accountable. They're having a tryout session this week. I have to go. I am going. And I ended up going, and I stuck to it. I've stuck to that so during my third and fourth year. And I've gone to every session. It's one of those sports where, unlike kayaking, where it's kind of a solo sport, this is something where you have to work as a team. So there were situations where, this sounds weird, but people had to talk to me. So it wasn't always the fact that I had to approach someone, but I was put in a situation by the coach and said, you're working with this team, do whatever. But then a lot of time, so at the start of sessions, I would come in and see that there's obviously groups of people talking to each other, and I wouldn't be able to approach them. I would sit by myself. Even then, when we're having like a drinks break or something, I'd immediately, without saying to someone like, oh, do you want to go get a drink or whatever, I'd just go by myself and sit down and just go on my phone, even if I've got no messages. I would just sit on my phone pretending to look at something or finding something to look at, just so it looks like that's why I'm not speaking to anyone, because I'm busy. And then at the end of the session, I'd put my coat on and go. I wouldn't hang around and talk to anyone. It sort of started getting better in my fourth year, but my second year of cheerleading. But still now, I don't really hang around to be in social situations. And sometimes the times when I do push myself to make a joke or join in a conversation, I just feel like I've said something so stupid that I just don't talk for the rest of the time, because I feel like I'm being completely judged, and whatever I've just said is just the stupidest thing in the whole world. So I was hesitant about doing this video, because I thought, oh, why? I'm just talking about myself. It seems a bit full of myself. But no, the reason I'm doing it is because I want to be able to learn to, first off, just speak out loud to myself, just to make a video. Luckily there's nobody home right now, so that's okay. But also to be able to talk about myself in more depth, like what I want from life, my ambitions, things like that, just things that are a little bit deeper than just saying, oh yeah, no, it's a nice day outside, kind of like that. I just want to be able to learn to do that. For now, obviously, I'm just talking to myself. But then it terrifies me that I'm going to start telling people about this, and people are going to start seeing this, and that just makes me want to not do it anymore. But it's like when you've got a fear of spiders or snakes or something, you just confront your fear. That's what I'm doing. So yeah.